Good evening and welcome to the Gulf Coast Sports Network. For tonight's live varsity volleyball matchup, tonight features the Lecanto Panthers, led by head coach Wanda Gray, and the Hernando Leopards, who are led by head coach Haley Workmeister. We're broadcasting live from Brooksville, Florida, in the Leopards' Den of Hernando High School. I'm Will Wilkie, and I'll be bringing you the call for tonight's action. A little bit about the game tonight. Lecanto comes into tonight's game with some momentum as they are on a two-game winning streak. And they'll look to complete the sweep of the season series with Hernando with a win tonight. But don't sleep on the Leopards. They had a rough start to the season, but they found their groove as of late. And they also enter tonight's matchup on a two-game winning streak. And they'll be looking for payback against the Panthers. Something we'll have to give tonight, and we expect both teams to lay it all on the line. So stay tuned. Panthers, Leopards are coming up next right here on the Gulf Coast Sports Network.
Navy SEAL veteran and endurance athlete Don Mann pushed his body to the limit and tried regenerative medicine when all other options failed.
It's unbelievable. I just assumed I was going to be in pain forever. And I've been in pain since the 80s. Now I'm running and riding a bicycle faster than I have in 7 years. Even my vision is better. I'm 100% pain-free right now. And I don't take any medications.
Call Aligned Integrative Medicine for exam and x-rays to see if you qualify for regenerative treatment.
Preparing for that next step in life isn't always easy. At Legacy Wealth Partners, our combination of experience, professionalism, and access to a wide variety of products and services to help meet all of your financial goals. For a new level of attention, insight, and capability, contact the trusted team at Legacy Wealth Partners. Welcome back to Hernando High School, and we're ready to get started. Lecanto and Hernando will be serving up the action here in just a moment. As we get ready for today's game, you don't want to miss any of the upcoming action right here on the Gulf Coast Sports Network. We have some heavy-hitting volleyball matchups still on the schedule coming to you, and fall would not be complete without our Friday night football coverage as well. We had a classic game last week. The in-city rivalry, Brooksville versus Brooksville, Nature Coast at Hernando, was just last week. Tune into our archive and rewatch it if you missed that one. Upcoming, we also have some key games on the schedule, so you don't want to miss that on the Gulf Coast Sports Network. As we get ready to get started here, if you're new to the Gulf Coast Network, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's free to you, and it helps us out as we are a nonprofit broadcast company bringing you these events live. You can turn on notifications so you never miss any of the action whenever we go with a live broadcast. Perfect example tonight, we had a little bit of a delayed start. And by turning on notifications, you'll know when we go live. Go ahead and toss a like our way as well. We sure do appreciate it. Lets us know that you're enjoying the broadcast tonight and all the other coverage that we bring to you. We're going to get things going with Lecanto on the serve, and that's going to be number 2, Mackenzie Gray. Gray with the jump serve, dug out by Cuvis. Set up for Crowley, who gets it over. Set by Nori, hit over by Mushlet. And a heads-up move by Mackenzie Gray, sending it back over to an unsuspecting Leopard defense, and Lecanto gets on the board first, 1-0. Again with the jump serve. Set up nicely for Crowley. Illegal touch on that play. Point in control maintains on the Lecanto side, 2-0. Mackenzie Gray with the jump serve. Jenberg digs it to Grant. It's knocked over by Ward. Returned with an authority by Mallory Gray. Nice elevation and timing on that spike to get it over. And Lecanto's off to a fast start, 3-0, early in the first set. Jenberg returns it, knocked back over by Willard. Dug back over by Gray. Set up by Grant to Ward, who spikes it in. Set up by Gray. And another spike by Emerson Willard. Had some power on that return. A beautiful tap. An alert Zoe Grant, number 4. That's going to get the point and possession over to Hernando's way as we await the serve for number 4, Zoe Grant. She'll complete the jump serve. Set up by Gray, spiked by Gray. Jenberg to Ward. Correction, that was Steinkamp. Jane Steinkamp on the hit. That runs long, goes out of bounds. Advancing the score 5-1. We have some substitutions. Entering the game for Lecanto is going to be Kylie Desmond, number 25, as we await the serve from Jayla Richardson, number 28. Jenberg to Grant. Sent over by Steinkamp. But the point is going to go Lecanto's way. And they got a big run here starting off here in the first, 6-1 advantage. Dig by Ward, set up by Grant. Spike attempt by Crowley. Can't connect on it. 7-1 advantage, Panthers. Jayla Richardson on the serve. Jenberg to Grant. Set up for Brooke Hart, but she can't get it over. And 8-1 is your score. Coach Haley Workmeister is going to try to calm down her team as they'll take a timeout, and we'll do so as well. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
My name is Tom Roselli. I served in the U.S. Navy 65 to 69. Through all the turmoil and stress battling with the VA, I've come to learn that certain organizations have their hands tied and can only proceed so far, whereas Attorney Chris Chambers has the experience and the ability to dig into the files and get the results that got me my 100%. Tremendous job in helping veterans.
So we're back to the action here in the first. 8-1 is your score. Advantage Lecanto. Jayla Richardson on the serve, number 28 for the Panthers. So they look to continue this run. Diving attempt by Jenberg. Great effort, but she can't get there. And Lecanto keeps the run going, 9-1. Richardson. Set up by Grant. Nice hit by Grant to get that back over. Returned by Kylie Desmond. And that's ruled inbounds. $10-1. Hernando's going to have to battle back here. Lecanto certainly wants to keep the momentum going that they've built up so far. Richardson to Jenberg. Ward to Crawley. Good power by Crawley. Dug out of there by Gray. That was tapped over by Mallory Gray for Lecanto. A beautiful return by Crawley on the attempted tap over. Crowley quickly elevated and sent it right back. Point and possession over to Hernando. They desperately needed that. As we await the serve from Kaya Ward, number 12. And her jump serve is going to run long, sending point and possession back over to Lecanto. And the 11-2 score. Now awaiting the serve from number 26, Summer Nori. Jenberg to Grant. Set up for Brooke Hart. That can't be corralled, so we'll send it back over to Hernando, 11-3. Nice play by Hart. Waiting the serve now from number 25, Solaris Jenberg, who also plays on the Leopard softball team. Nice spike attempt there by Desmond. Dug out by the Leopards. Sent back over by Grant. Desmond tries again. Can't get to it as it ran into the corner of the post. Advancing the score now to 11-4. Jenberg with the serve. Dug by. Beautiful tap over there by Mallory Gray. So Gray will get the point. She'll also get the serve here. 12-4, advantage Lecanto. She'll complete the jump serve with some authority. Beautiful velocity on that serve. As Kaya Ward tries to return it, but that's going to come up short. Again, Mallory Gray on the serve. Little change of speed there, keeping Hernando off of balance. Steinkamp sends it over, set up by Gray for Desmond. Grant to Brooke Hart again. Beautiful dig there by Richardson. Tap over by Jalen Richardson. Nice spot by Jalen. Reading the defense and a beautiful tap. 14-4. Mark that down as an ace for Mallory Gray. A beautiful serve. Jump serve dug by Jenberg. Gets over. Richardson keeps it alive to Mallory Gray. Sent back over by Nori. Grant to Steinkamp. That was Mackenzie Gray's return that went long. (15-5). Substitution for the Leopards. Coming into the game now will be Jackie Cuvis, and she'll take the serving duties. Jump serve. Dug out of there by Richardson. Set up by Gray. Sent over by Desmond. Jenberg to Grant to Cuvis, and that's going to go long. 16-5. And we have another substitution for the Panthers. Entering the game will be Mallory Mushlet, as well as Kayla Negron, number 11. Negron will take the serving duties, 16-5 here in set number 1. Jenberg to Grant. Beautiful spike. Didn't catch the number on that one. Gray sends it back. Cuvis That's Zoe Grant who returned it. Gray to Mushlet. Jenberg sends it back over. Beautiful volley by both teams here. Oh, nice block. That was Kayla Grant on the block. Set up for Brooke Hart. Beautiful diving dig by Summer Norrie. And it finds some open court to get the point for Lecanto. Outstanding volley by both teams. Knowing your zone and communicating is key when you get volleys like that, and both teams exemplified it on that round. Served by Negron's going to run long, 17-6, as the point in possession now goes over to Hernando. We await the serve from number 7, Brooke Hart. Jump serve. That's going to fall in for an ace. Nice job by Hart. That serve's going to come in short. Sending the point in possession back over to Lecanto as we await the serve from number 20, Jalen Richardson. Diving attempt by Jenberg, gets out of it. But the immediate return by Emerson Willard. Good heads-up play by Willard. Nice tap over by Mackenzie Gray. (20-7), Lecanto out to a very fast start. Richardson on the serve. Huvis alertly reading the ball, lets it go long. 20-8, substitution for both teams. Number 21, Julia Parker for Lecanto. Number 13, Layla Prowant in for Hernando. Now serving for Hernando will be Prowant, number 13. Prowant with the jump serve. Dug out of there by Gray, set up by Gray. Spike over by Willard. Can't be corralled by the Leopards. 21-8 now. Go ahead and toss some likes our way if you're enjoying the broadcast tonight, as the serve by Mackenzie Gray comes up short. 21-9 now. Sending the ball back over for the Hernando serve by number 4, Zoe Grant. Grant on the jump serve. Dug out of there by Negron. Gray and Negron again can't get it over. 21-10 now. If Hernando's going to make a move, it's got to be now. Again, Grant on the serve. Gray to Gray for Willard. That's going to run long. Some good authority there by Willard. Just had a little bit too much on it, and she ran out of real estate. 21-11. Again, Zoe Grant on the serve. She'll do a jump serve. Dug out of there by Norrie. Sent back over by Gray. Returned by Casey Grant. Norrie to Parker, who can't get it over. And Hernando's putting together a little bit of a run here. They pulled to within 9, 21-12. Grant on the serve. Gray to Norrie. Willard. (21-13) now. Zoe Grant getting the Hernando Leopards back into this game, but sends that one long. 22-13 now. We've got another substitution for Lecanto. Number 28, Jayla Richardson, re-enters the game. As well as number 25, Kylie Desmond. Jayla Richardson will take the serving duties. 22-13 your score here in set number 1. On the jump serve, dug by Brooke Hart, set up by Grant. Beautiful spike by Casey Grant. Nice elevation. And it gets the job done, 22-14. We'll bring up Kaya Ward now, number 12 on the serve for Hernando. She'll complete the jump serve to Nori, to Gray, Casey Grant gets it back over to Gray, who taps it over. It's Prowant who kept it alive initially, followed by a diving Kaya Ward, but they can't get it over. 23-14. On the serve will be Summer Nori. Dug by Ward. Ward gets it over. Set up by Grant for a tap over. Beautiful tap over by Jalen Richardson. An outstanding read. You get good elevation. You kind of see where the positioning is on the court. No one's there. You just tap it over into some empty space, and she did so right there. Nori on the match point serve. Returned by Prowant. Set up for Desmond. Dug by Ward. Lecanto can't get to it. Hernando remains alive, 24-15. So they continue to battle. Good effort here by the Leopards to try to get back into it. As Kayla Grant, number 9, returns to the lineup. So we await the serve from number 25, Solaris Jenberg. Richardson with the dig to Gray. Sent over by Desmond. Jenberg returns. Richardson to Gray to Nori. Dug out of there by Ward to Grant. And a hard spike by Casey Grant, but had too much on it. Lecanto takes set number 1, 25-15. That fast start certainly helped out the Panthers. And we'll get all served up and ready for set number 2. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Gulf Coast Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Certainly I'm an avid golfer, been, golf usually weekly. Play a lot with my wife.
With the repetitive motion, as you know, with a lot of golfers, it's an unnatural motion that you put your body through.
After suffering for years with shoulder pain, Mike chose stem cell therapy as an alternative to surgery.
I'm just excited because patients that have been in pain for years that are now doing the things that they want to do, and Mike's just going to be adding to that list.
Call Aligned Integrative Medicine for exam and x-rays to see if you qualify for stem cell treatment.
My name is Tom Roselli. I served in the U.S. Navy 65 to 69. Through all the turmoil and stress battling with the VA, I've come to learn that certain organizations have their hands tied and can only proceed so far, whereas Attorney Chris Chambers has the experience and the ability to dig into the files and get the results that got me my 100%. Tremendous job in helping veterans.
Preparing for that next step in life isn't always easy. At Legacy Wealth Partners, our combination of experience, professionalism, and access to a wide variety of products and services to help meet all of your financial goals. For a new level of attention, insight, and capability, contact the trusted team at Legacy Wealth Partners.
I was fortunate enough to be able to work with Divinity on a custom skincare regimen the year leading up to my wedding. It included a series of in-office treatments, microneedling, PRP, hydrofacials, and an at-home skincare regimen. So I had no worries the day of my wedding. My skin was perfect.
So we return back, getting ready for set number 2. Lecanto took set number 1. Again, we hope you're enjoying the broadcast tonight. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's free for you. It helps us out. Go ahead and toss some likes our way as well. We sure would appreciate it. We do appreciate your viewership and your support. And don't forget, not only can you watch these games live, but you can watch them in our archive anytime that you want to. They are available for free. So go ahead, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a schoolmate. Got a lot of talent on display. As both coaches get their lineup set here for the beginning of set number 2, we await the serve by Zoe Grant. Sends it over. Beautiful diving attempt by Negron. That's over by Willard. Set up for Crowley. Dug by Negron. Set up by Gray. For Gray. Jenberg to Grant. Casey Grant sends it over. Negron to Gray to Muchlet. Jenberg again. Got a great volley here starting off this series. Gray to Gray goes long. Great volley by both teams. A lot of great effort there. 1-0 is the result. Advantage Hernando. Zoe Grant now on the serve. Outstanding play by Willard. Sent back over by Ward. Gray to Gray. Crowley sends it over. Dug by Gray. Norrie to Mackenzie. Gray gets it over. Ward. Diving play by Norrie. Great job. And that's going to be inbounds. We're all tied up at 1. We await the serve from number 2, Mackenzie Gray. Jenberg. Outstanding hustle by Ward. Another diving play, this time by Negron. Grant taps it over. Gray. Rejected by Crowley on the block. Jenberg sends it up for Casey Grant. Negron to Gray to Willard. Jenberg. Hart. And Ward comes in short. We're off to a solid start here in set number 2. Great volleys by both teams. Hernando taking it up a couple of notches. Jump serve by Gray. Can't be corralled. 3-1. I'll try my best to differentiate between the Grays, so I guess I'll go on first name. So Mackenzie on the serve. Jenberg to Grant for Ward. Both Willard and Mallory were up there getting ready for the block, but I believe that came in short. 4-1. Served by Mackenzie. Dug by Jenberg. Set up by Grant for Crowley. Dug by Mackenzie. Sent back over by Muchlet. Out of the reach of a diving Jenberg. 5-1 now. We wait the serve from Mackenzie Gray. Jump serve to Jenberg. To Grant. Tapped over by Casey Grant. Dug out of there by Mackenzie. Beautiful tap over by Mallory. And a nice effort by Ward to try to dive there and keep that ball alive, but she can't. 6-1 now. Substitution for the Leopards. Number 8, Bailey Poe, now in. Diving attempt by Jenberg to keep it alive. Nice dig there. Sent over by Poe. Dug out of there by Norrie. Set up by Ward. That was Mushlet attempting the block. Got a piece of it, but not enough. 6-2. Lecanto able to run off 6 consecutive points for that last play. Setting it up for Mushlet now. That's going to go long. Six to 3. Kaya Ward on the serve. Dug out of there by Mallory. Nice play. Mallory sends it back over. Grant. I believe that was hard on the diving attempt, and it was. Substitution for the Panthers. Number 28, Jayla Richardson. Number 25, Kylie Desmond in. 7-3 your score. Upcoming serve by Jayla Richardson. With the jump serve, Jedberg to Grant. Set up for Brooke Hart. She taps it in. Diving play by Nori to keep it alive. Grant to Grant. And she finds the back. In fair inbound play. 8-3. A nice play. Eight to 3. Jayla Richardson on the serve. Dug by Ward. Casey Grant can't get there. We saw this in set number 1 where Lecanto was able to put together some runs. As that serve falls short, point in possession now goes back the Leopards' way. 9-4. Returning to the game for Hernando is Kayla Grant. Served by Jenberg. Nori up with it. Gray to Gray. And a beautiful block by Hart and Grant. That's Kayla Grant. 9-5. Jenberg on the serve. Diving play by Grant. Nori sends it over. Grant for Grant. That was Kayla on the spike. Dug out by Nori. Sent back over by Mallory Gray. But Kyla can't get it back. That was Kyla Grant, 10-5. Summer Nori on the serve for Lecanto. Substitution, Alexa Grant now in for the Leopards. That serve comes up short, 10-6. Point in possession goes Hernando's way. As we await the serve from number 5, Casey Grant. Sends it over Gray to Gray. Desmond. Nice play by Gray there. Desmond again dug out by Grant. Nori to Gray. Set up for Gray. Nice dig there by Grant. That's Alexa Grant. Ricochet off of Summer Nori. And Hernando's battling back. They've now pulled to within 3. Number 5, Casey Grant remains on the serve. Gray to Richardson. Can't connect, and now it's 10-8. The Leopards making some noise here in set number 2. Grant on the serve. Nice diving play by Richardson. Another diving play by Grant. But they run out of hits. 10-9. Hernando would love nothing more than to tie up the game here in set number 2 and apply some pressure of their own, but that serve's going to come up short. Sending the point and the serve back over to Lecanto, 11-9 now. Awaiting the serve from Mallory Gray. With the jump serve. That's going to come up short. 11-10, awaiting the serve from number 7, Brooke Hart, as number 12, Kaya Ward, will re-enter the game. Hart with the jump serve. Dug by Richardson, set up by Gray for Desmond. Good velocity on that spike, but she'll send it long, and we got ourselves a tie ball game, 11-11. And Coach Wanda Gray going to try to settle down her team. She'll take a timeout. We will as well. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Gulf Coast Sports Network, and we'll be right back right after this. So we're back to live action here in set number 2. We've got a tie ball game all knotted up at 11. Number 7, Brooke Hart on the serve. Dug by Richardson, set up by Gray. Tap over by Mackenzie Gray. Outstanding diving play by Zoe Grant. Desmond gets it over. Another diving play by Brooke Hart, but can't connect and get it over the net or keep it alive. That'll break our tie. 12-11 advantage Lecanto. Some substitutions for Lecanto. Got Mallory Mushlet as well as Kayla Negron entering the game for the Panthers. Negron will take the serving duties right now. 12-11 your score. With the serve, Jenberg to Grant. Set up for Kayla Grant. Too long. Gray. Brooke Hart can't get there. 13-11 in favor of Lecanto. Kayla Negron on the serve for Lecanto. Jenberg to Grant for Ward. Had some difficulty with that one. 14-11 now. As Hernando battled back from a deficit early on to tie up the match. But now Lecanto putting together a run of their own, up 14-11. Grant to Kayla Grant. That's going to go long. Substitution for the Leopards. Jackie Cuvis now enters the game, number 2. Again, Negron with the serve for Lecanto. She'll send it over to Jenberg, to Grant. Setting it up for Ward, gets it over to Nori, to Gray, Diving attempt by Cuvis, keeps it alive, nice play. Returned by Richardson. And a nice spike there. I believe that was number 9, Kayla Grant. And it was. And she'll take a breather on the bench as number 13, Layla Prowant, comes in. She'll take the serving duties for Hernando. 15-12, your score in set number 2. Prowant with the jump serve. Nori with the dig to Gray. A nice hit by Jalen Richardson. Hernando unable to control it, so Lecanto will get the point and the possession off the hard hit by Richardson. And number 20, Jalen Richardson, will take the serving duties now for Lecanto. Cuvis with the read. Nice job by Cuvis to know her position on the court and let that ball go out of bounds. 16-13. We wait the serve from number 4, Zoe Grant. Substitution as Jenberg returns. Grant on the serve, jump serve. Dug out of there by Gray, set up by Gray. I believe that was Mushlet. Sent back over by Casey Grant. Gray for Willard. Off the deflection. Great job just to get a hand on that, but Brooke Hart ran out of room and she tried to chase it down, 17-13. Mackenzie Gray on the serve for the Panthers. Jenberg to Grant for Crowley. Norrie can't get a hold of it. 17-14 now. As both teams are fighting hard, putting together little runs. Hernando needs one now. They put together one to tie up the game. They're going to have to do it again. As the serve by Ward's going to run long, 18-14. Substitution for both teams. Number 28, Jayla Richardson. Number 3, Alexa Grant for Hernando. And number 25, Kylie Desmond for Lecanto. Jayla Richardson on the serve. Hart to Grant, to Crowley. Richardson to Gray. Set up for Willard. And she'll get the point. Nice play by Emerson Willard. 19-14. Ricochets off of Crowley to Grant. Gray for Willard. And it was ruled that there was contact, so 20-14. Lecanto feeling the momentum. Nando's gonna have to dig deep and put together a run. Hart with the dig to Grant. Casey Grant off of Gray. Nice power by number 5, Casey Grant. Great effort by Mackenzie Gray, but there was just too much velocity on that ball. Nothing she could do with it. 20-15, point possession over to Hernando. As we await the serve by number 25, Solaris Jenberg. As we await a substitution, that's Kayla Grant returning. Jenberg with the serve. Richardson to Gray. Richardson sends it back over. Grant to Grant, back to Grant. Norrie to Gray. Gray spikes it over. Nice diving play by Alexa Grant to keep it alive. Norrie with the dig to Gray. Some hesitation there by Desmond. That's going to fall short. 20-16. Jenberg remaining on the serve. Back to Gray. Found herself backpedaling on that one. 20-17. Here comes Hernando. Gray to Gray. Willard. A nice velocity on that spike by Willard, but had too much on it. 20-18. Gray to Gray for Desmond. Dug out of there by Grant. Jenberg up with it. Casey Grant. And that's going to be ruled out of bounds. Returning to the game for the Panthers, number 20, Jalen Richardson. As we await the serve from Summer Norrie, number 26. 21-18 here in set number 2. Some critical plays upcoming here. Casey Grant sends it over, dug by Richardson for Gray. And a beautiful block! Extending over the net is number 9, Kayla Grant. And a huge play for Hernando. Can't underscore that enough. That was a huge play. Served by Casey Grant to Richardson. Set up by Gray. For Gray, tap over. Diving Jenberg can't get to it. An outstanding play by Mallory Gray. Reading the defensive alignment for Hernando and finding some open space on the court. Each point is precious here in the remainder of set number 2, and that was a big one for Lecanto. Mallory Gray with the jump serve. Jenberg to Grant for Hart, and a beautiful block by Richardson. And Hart can't get there as the Hernando volley falls short, 23-19. Dangerous territory here if you're a Leopard fan. Dug by Jenberg for Grant. And Kayla Grant can't get it over. Got set point upcoming. 24-19 on the serve by Mallory Gray. Hernando's going to have to put together a run. It's got to start here. Nice play by Grant. That was Zoe Grant on the hit. Set up for Brooke Hart. Dug by Gray. Set up by Gray for Richardson. Dug by Alexa Grant. Grant sends it over. Gray. And the hit by Desmond goes long. 24-20. And substitution for Hernando coming in as number 12, Kaya Ward. This is it for Hernando. They got to put together a run of at least 4 points in a row to stay alive. Served by Hart. Returned by Gray on the dig. Jenberg to Grant for Ward. And that's going to fall in there. Kaya Ward connects. Hernando's pulled to within 3. They'll need 3 in a row to stay alive. Lecanto with just 1 can take the set and go up 2-0. Nori with a beautiful diving attempt. Grant. Richardson to Gray. For Gray, beautiful block. That was Grant on the block. Sent back over by Zoe Grant. Tap over by Desmond. Jenberg. And the hit by Kayla Grant runs long. So a valiant comeback effort by Hernando. Outstanding effort to try to get back into it. But it's going to fall short. Set number 2 will go to Lecanto with a final of 25-21. We'll get ready and all set up for set number 3. And we'll take a break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching the Gulf Coast Sports Network.
I was fortunate enough to be able to work with Divinity on a custom skincare regimen the year leading up to my wedding. It included a series of in-office treatments, microneedling, PRP, hydrofacials, and an at-home skincare regimen. So I had no worries the day of my wedding. My skin was perfect.
Preparing for that next step in life isn't always easy. At Legacy Wealth Partners, our combination of experience, professionalism, and access to a wide variety of products and services to help meet all of your financial goals. For a new level of attention, insight, and capability, contact the trusted team at Legacy Wealth Partners.
Navy SEAL veteran and endurance athlete Don Mann pushed his body to the limit and tried regenerative medicine when all other options failed.
It's unbelievable. I just assumed I was going to be in pain forever. And I've been in pain since the 80s. Now I'm running and riding a bicycle faster than I have in 7 years. Even my vision is better. I'm 100% pain-free right now. And I don't take any medications.
Call Aligned Integrative Medicine for exam and x-rays to see if you qualify for regenerative treatment.
My name is Tom Roselli. I served in the U.S. Navy 65 to 69. Through all the turmoil and stress battling with the VA, I've come to learn that certain organizations have their hands tied and can only proceed so far. Whereas Attorney Chris Chambers has the experience and the ability to dig into the files and get the results that got me my 100%. Tremendous job in helping veterans.
So we return to live action as we advance now to set number 3. Lecanto has a 2-0 advantage. Hernando will have to take this one to stay alive. Lecanto looking to put it away and take home the W. I'd like to thank all of our viewers for tuning in live tonight, but don't forget that you can watch the replay anytime that you'd like. So if you have a loved one playing in the game tonight, let them know that they can check out their action and outstanding effort tonight right here on the Gulf Coast Sports Network. As we await the official start, as the officials make their last marks on the lineup card. And we're ready to get underway. Lecanto with the serve. Mackenzie Gray. Brooke Hart to Grant. Sends back over. Negron to Gray. Tapped over by Gray. Diving attempt. It was Alexa Grant on the diving attempt. Summer Norrie with a dive of her own. Jenberg. And the spike attempt by Zoe Grant comes up short. And Lecanto's out to a 1-0 lead. Kenzie Gray with the jump serve. Deflected off of Brooke Hart. Looked like she didn't have ideal position on that one. Tried to get it from an angle. And it deflected straight back. So 2-0 Lecanto. Gray on the jump serve. Another diving attempt again by Alexa Gray. Looked like the spin on the ball got Zoe Grant. Correction, that was Alexa Grant. Gray on the serve, dug by Grant. Immediate return by Willard. Crowley tried to get the block, but was a little too far away from the net. And here are those Lecanto runs that we've talked about earlier on. They're out to a 4-0 lead. Norrie to Gray, to Gray. Beautiful dive by Brooke Hart. Good effort there, but couldn't keep it in bounds. 5-0 Lecanto. As number 15, Maddie Sullins, will enter the game for Hernando. We await the serve from Gray. Sullins to Grant for Crowley. A nice block there by Willard. That's going to fall in for Lecanto. Out to a 6-0 run. Grant to Grant for Ward. And that's going to be long. This volleyball game has been a game of runs. And so far, Lecanto's got to like what they see. They hold a 7-0 advantage on the serve by Gray, dug by Jenberg for Grant. Crowley, Gray for Mushlet. Mushlet sends it long. And Hernando gets on the board. 7-1. Substitution for Hernando as well. Casey Grant returns to the game. Jump serve by Grant. Dug out of there by Willard to Gray. Spiked by Gray, but that comes up short. Substitution for Lecanto. Jayla Richardson and Kylie Desmond. Correction, the return came up short. 8-1. Point possession over to Lecanto. Richardson to Jenberg for Grant. Setting it up for Ward. Dug out of there by Richardson, but had a little bit too much on it. 8-2 now. Another substitution for Hernando. as Brooke Hart returns. We await the serve by Kaya Ward. Desmond sends it over to a diving Jenberg. Casey Grant returns it. Nori to Gray for Willard. Grant to Jenberg for Brooke Hart. A nice block there by Desmond. Crowley returns it. Nori with the dig. Gray sends it back over. Believe the ruling was illegal contact on that play. 9-2. Awaiting the serve from Summer Nori, number 26. Dug out there by Ward for Grant. Crowley. That was a nice block there by Gray, Mallory Gray. Couldn't catch the number immediately. And the spike attempt by Desmond goes long, 9-3. We're actually, the camera's up high tonight, but we're at a low angle, so it's tough for us to catch the number sometimes. Doing the best that we can. As the serve by Jenberg comes up short. Point possession over to Lecanto, 10-3. We're actually at ground level tonight. Normally we're elevated, so we can catch those numbers a little bit easier on the jump serve by Mallory Gray. Dug out of there by Ward to Grant. Returned by Casey Grant. Dug out of there by Gray. Nori back to Gray. Turned by Grant. Dug by Richardson for Gray. Gray to Jenberg to Ward. Back to Jenberg. Sends it over. Falls inbounds. Nice play by Jenberg. 10-4. So on the serve, that was Casey Grant on the serve. Spike attack by Desmond comes up short. And we talked about this game being a game of runs. Hernando's on one of their own. They pulled it within 5. Grant on the serve. Gray to Gray to Gray. Grant on the setup. Sent over by Grant. Richardson sends that one long. I just got to say it. We've got so many Grays and so many Grants. It feels like I'm calling a law firm summer picnic volleyball game. Just had to throw that in there. 10-7 your score. Serve over, dug out of there by Gray, set up by Gray. For Gray again with the tap over. Diving attempt by Casey Grant, but she can't get there. Substitution for both teams. We've got Alexa Grant returning for Hernando. We've got Mushlet and Negron returning for Lecanto. Waiting the serve by Kayla Negron with an 11-7 score here in set number 3. Jenberg with the dig for Grant. Hart with the adjustment, but can't get there. That setup by Grant carried a little bit further than Hart was expecting. She had to adjust. Coach Workmeister will take a timeout. 12-7 is your score. We'll take a timeout as well. And we'll be right back right after this. Preparing for that next step in life isn't always easy. At Legacy Wealth Partners, our combination of experience, professionalism, and access to a wide variety of products and services to help meet all of your financial goals. For a new level of attention, insight, and capability, contact the trusted team at Legacy Wealth Partners. So we return to action here in the third, coming out of the timeout. 12-7 is your score here in set number 3, right here on the Gulf Coast Sports Network. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, toss a like our way as well. So served by Negron is set up by Jenberg. A beautiful diving play by Brooke Hart to keep it alive and send it over. Gray sends it back. Nori to Gray for Mushlet. Dug out of there by Ward for Grant. Kayla Grant to Gray to Nori for Mackenzie Gray, and she finds some open court. A nice play by number 2, Mackenzie Gray. 13-7 Lecanto. Waiting the serve from Negron. Jenberg had a little bit too much on that dig. 14-7 advantage, Lecanto. Kayla Negron with the serve. Diving play there by Alexa Grant. Another dive by Alexa Grant. Can't get there. Outstanding effort, but they just couldn't do anything with it. 15-7. Timeout, Hernando. And we'll keep it right here. Tell you a little bit about our upcoming broadcast. We do have 2 more volleyball games left on our broadcast schedule. You won't want to miss that. Nature Coast at Springstead and wrapping it up with Crystal River at Nature Coast. But don't forget, we got high school football too, and we're about halfway through our broadcast schedule there. Got some big matchups coming up, as well as Wesley Chapel at Nature Coast this Friday and the Burger Bowl on October 8th. Hernando travels to Springstead. You won't want to miss that one, as we'll have some special features along the way and some interviews as well. So you don't want to miss any of the action right here on the Gulf Coast Sports Network. We've got you covered when it comes to Hernando sports. So we come out of the timeout. 15-7, set number 3. Lecanto holds a 2-0 advantage so far in this game. Negron on the serve. Dug out of there by Alexa Grant. To Grant for Brooke Hart. Dug out of there by Nori. But that's going to go out of bounds. 15-8. Sending the serve over to Hernando. It'll be number 7, Brooke Hart. Hart with the jump serve. A diving Negron can't get there. 15-9. Again, Hart on the serve. She'll complete the jump serve to Mushlet. Set up by Gray. For number 14, Kylie Rawthorne. Who entered the game during the timeout. Mushlet sends that long. 15-10. Hernando trying to put a run together here. They've now pulled to within 5. Hart with the jump serve. Nori to Gray for Mushlet. Diving attempt there by Hart. She was able to get a hand on it, but goes into the net and that can't be corralled by her teammates. 16-10. Got some substitutions here. Entering the game for Lecanto is Willard, and entering for Hernando is Casey Grant, number 5. On the serve for the Panthers, Kylie Rawthorne, number 14. Hart on the return, dug out of there by Negron, set up by Gray for Julia Parker, who also entered the game. Must have been during the timeout. We did not see the substitution. Negron for Gray. Dug out of there by Hart for Grant. Ward sends it over. Correction, that was Kayla Grant. Kayla Grant sends it over. 16-11 now. Now on the serve is going to be Layla Prowant, number 13. Negron to Gray for Willard. Dug out of there by Hart for Grant. Tap over by Ward. Lecanto able to keep it alive. Mushlet sends it over. Grant for Crowley. Looked like she mistimed that jump just a little bit. 17-11. And entering the game for Lecanto will be number 2, Mackenzie Gray. She'll take the serve. Hart on the dig to Grant. For Crowley, sends it over. Negron for Gray. Willard. That's going to run long. 17-12 now. Awaiting the serve by Zoe Grant. Grant with the jump serve. Dug by Negron. Ricochets out of bounds. Outstanding hustle by Gray. That was Mallory Gray on the hustle. On the return, there was Mackenzie Gray trying to keep it alive, but they ran out of room. 17-13 now. Gray to Gray. For Mallory Gray, sends it over. Dug out of there by Grant. For Casey Grant, Negron to Gray. Gray with a tap, and she finds some room on the court. Point for Lecanto. Substitution for Lecanto as well. Desmond returns. Jayla Richardson on the serve. Dug out of there by Prowant. To Grant, sent over by Ward. Gray. Not sure who got that one. They both timed that beautifully. It was either Willard or Gray on that one. Desmond sends it over. That was Ward and Crowley attempting the block. 19-13. Richardson on the serve. Hart. A diving Zoe Grant trying to keep it alive. 20-13. Prowant. Good hustle by Grant. Hart sends it over. Richardson to Gray. For Willard. A lot of velocity on that spike, and Prowant just couldn't keep up with it. 21-13, a good attempt by Prowant. Richardson. Jenberg. Grant. Hart sends it over. Dug out of there by Gray. Norrie. For Mallory Gray. Hart. To Grant. For Ward. Dug by Gray. Dug by Norrie. Sent over by Desmond. Great volley by both teams here. Crowley with the tap over. Gray to Gray. Willard. Deflection on the block attempt. Ward. Diving attempt by Richardson. As Gray goes into the stands to keep it alive. An outstanding volley here. Gray with the tap. Another diving play. Crowley gets it over to Norrie. Gray to Richardson. Comes up short. Wow. Outstanding hustle by both teams. Players going into the stands, keeping it alive. Diving all over the place. Gotta love the excitement and the hustle that these two teams are showing. Bailey Poe now into the game for Hernando. 21-14 as we await the serve by Kaya Ward. Dug out of there by Gray to Gray for Willard. And she'll connect on that spike, 22-14. Lecanto's fueling the momentum now. Hernando has got to dig deep and put together a run here. Kylie Rothorn enters the game for Lecanto. Kylie Rothorn. The serve by Willard. And she'll take the ace. 23-14 as we have another substitution for Hernando. Maddie Sullins into the game. Number 15, Maddie Sullins. On a 23-14 score, awaiting the serve by Emerson Willard. She'll send it over, deflected off of Sullins. 24-14 as we have now come up on set point and game point. Hernando has to put together a major run to keep things alive, and that will help their cause as the serve comes up short, 24-15. Lecanto looking to put this game away. Substitution for Hernando. Prowant, as well as Kayla Grant, return as we await the serve from Solaris Genberg. One more substitution as Brooke Hart returns. And Prowant actually will leave the game. So Genberg on the serve. Richardson to Gray. For Gray, Genberg, Grant. And the return by Ward will come up short. And that will do it. 25-15 is your final for the set. It's also your final for the ball game. We sure hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Don't forget to tune in for our other broadcasts for the remainder of the fall season. I'm Will Wilkie, and we'll see you next time